What's going on, everyone? John Matrix here. Hope you're all having yourselves a wonderful day wherever you're at and whenever you're watching this. We're going to be jumping into the SCP universe here with the Vulcan. This has been a requested video for me to check out. This is SCP-1471 MalO. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that properly. M-A, I think it's L-O, but it could be I-O. Version 1.0 Euclid transmission SCP. So yeah, links will be down below as always in the description to the original video without my commentary and reaction, and to the Vulcan's channel. So yeah, if you enjoy this video, be sure to give it a like, and if you enjoy the Vulcan's content and you aren't already subbed to him, I don't know what you're doing. Go over there and show the man some love. Hit the sub button on his channel. He deserves it. He deserves it. If you'd like to join us when we do these reactions live, as we are doing right now, we'd love to have you guys come in here, join the discussions, add in your 2 cents. There is a join button underneath the video, as well as the link in the description to the YouTube membership benefits and tiers that I offer. If you've been around the channel for a while and decide you want to take that support to the next level, check those out, see if that would have any interest for you. Get early access videos, priority and reaction requests, stuff like that. So yeah, take a look. But regardless, with all that said, let's jump into this video. Again, this is SCP-1471 by the Vulcan.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-1471. Object Class: Euclid. Special Containment Procedures.
Already terrifying looking.
All mobile devices that have
This reminds me of the rabbit in Donnie Darko. You guys, like, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Donnie Darko and are getting that vibe, but like the rabbit in that like weird mask, it looks very similar to that.
SCP-1471 installed are to be confiscated and analyzed for any potential leads to other possibly affected devices.
What Kelshman said.
Afterwards, affected devices are to have their batteries removed.
What Kelshman said. Logan's the goat, we're not subbed to him. You're a heretic. Absolutely.
Afterwards, affected devices are to have their batteries removed, be assigned a designation, for example, SCP-1471, then a number, and be placed in Storage Unit 91 at Research Site 45.
Okay.
All online application stores for mobile devices are to be monitored to prevent any inadvertent sales of SCP-1471. Suspected devices are to be targeted using self-uploading malware in order to disable the device until it can be seized by field agents.
Okay, now it's in the rearview mirror.
SCP-1471 is a free 9.8 megabyte application for mobile devices named MalO.
It's a malware, dude. We have an SCP that's a malware, bro. Is malware bytes like? Is there like a special SCP variant of malware that we got to download to clean this up off our cell phone or something?
Version 1.0.0 in online application stores. SCP-1471 has no listed developer and is somehow able to bypass the application approval process to go directly to distribution. SCP-1471 is also able to avoid removal by other program manager applications. After SCP-1471 is installed, no icons or shortcuts are created for the application.
What?
SCP-1471 will then begin to send the individual images through text messaging every 3 to 6 hours. All images will contain SCP-1471-A either within the background or foreground. SCP-1471-A appears as a large humanoid figure.
Is this like literally like an SCP that infects your phone and like sends you images about local hot women that are single in your area? Is that what this is about?
With a canid-like skull and black hair. During the first 24 hours following the installation of SCP-1471, the mobile device will receive images taken at locations commonly frequented by the individual.
Right, like can you format your phone and get rid of this thing, or is it like there no matter what? Does it like stop the formatting, you know?
After 48 hours, the mobile device will receive images taken at locations that were recently visited by the individual.
That's creepy.
After 72 hours, the mobile device will receive images of the individual in real time, with SCP-1471-A appearing within close proximity to the subject.
That is extremely creepy.
Individuals with more than 90 hours of exposure to these continuous images will begin to briefly visualize SCP-1471-A within their peripheral vision, reflective surfaces, or a combination of the two. Continued exposure to SCP-1471 after this point will cause...
Can you imagine that, dude? Can you imagine, like, the kind, like, you're driving down the street, right? Going to work, doing whatever. You look in your rear view mirror or your side view mirror to, like, see what's going on with traffic so you could, like, merge to a different lane. And then you see that and you have, like, a panic attack. And you get into a car accident and cause, like, you know, a 15-car pileup on the highway or something.
Irreversible and sustained visualizations of SCP-1471.
Oh, does it? It just wants to be my friend?
At this stage have reported periodic...
My friends list is full. Okay.
Attempts made by SCP-1471-A to visually communicate with them, but fail to understand or comprehend these actions. Currently, the only known treatment to reverse SCP-1471's effect is to eliminate the individual's visual exposure to...
I'm here to talk to you about your car's extended warranty.
These images prior to 90 hours after installation. To date, no apparent hostile activity has been reported regarding SCP-1471-A. And this is archival document 1471-1. Note: SCP-1471 as posted on application stores. MalO version 1.0.0. Free. 0 reviews. Description: for never settle for those awkward feelings of being alone ever again. MalO is an exciting and interactive experience that will keep you engaged and intrigued. The anxiety of social situations can be nerve-wracking, but after just a few hours of MalO, you will soon forget about all those painful emotions of disappointment. Be part of a new craze that is quickly becoming the next social substitute. Remember, the more you participate, the more MalO will engage you.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I don't want to just randomly see some, like, Donnie Darko entity with, like, this weird canine skull head just popping in and out of existence around me. You know what I'm saying? I'm good, brother.
Your experience is completely up to you. Absolutely no ads.
I mean, if my experience is completely up to me, then my experience is to not have an experience.
Enjoy. Addendum 1471-1. This is the experience of William, reconstructed in audio format by A.C.I.D, the on-site AI. Playing reconstruction now. I was scared when I first saw him. It happened just as you told me. The messages, the pictures, seeing him around every corner afterwards. I was so young. Who wouldn't have lost it? William sighed. By then, he was over the creature following him. It wasn't like it was going to go away, no matter how much he begged or pleaded or attempted to bribe. He knew that the best and only solution would be to just get used to Capone being there. At least he had the solace of knowing that he wasn't going insane. Believe me, William, I know many people have reacted the same way. Fear is a more common reaction to the unknown than you'd think. Dr. Laura Brains consoled him. These cases weren't exactly common, but they were commonly known. It's not even that I'm afraid anymore. I mean, he makes me jump when I see him in the morning. I don't think I'll ever get used to that. It's just the bad connotations he has, William rebutted. I know that he does, but it happened 2 years ago. I know it's hard for you, especially with your shadow, but you need to carry on, Dr. Brains stated. William just sighed as she continued. Our session is almost up. We made some real progress, William.
Really?
I want you to
call
do
that progress?
something for me when you get home. Do you have any homework or anything? I did it all on my break. Good. When you get home, I want you to think back to your first experience. Write as much as you feel comfortable sharing. Is that all right? Yeah. Thanks for seeing me. It wasn't too long a drive from the doctor's office to home. 5, possibly 10 minutes, if there was a train. He always saw the creature through the rearview mirror when he drove, riding in the back seat. It looked innocent, in its own alien way, waving to William as he saw it. Despite everything, William found himself talking to it, like one would talk to a dog or a cat about their day when they're alone. It seemed to listen when he talked, and after a while, he could swear that it understood. It's hard to tell with a face like that, so all there were to go by were various head...
It's not even, I mean, can you call it a face? It's literally a skull. It's like an animal skull. Okay.
tilts and waves, and even then, he had to teach it how to wave. At least I know you're interested. Drop the backpack near the door, go to the patio, wave to Capone from the mirror, fridge, drink, chair, crash. William's afternoon routine was more clockwork than it should be. He thought back to his session with Dr. Brains. She wanted me to try and recapture the experience when I first saw him? Huh? William mumbled as he grabbed a few sheets of paper and a pen. Bit by bit, he pieced together the sequence of events that lead up to this point. I've had Capone with me ever since I was 15 years old. I remember that my 20-year-old sister Sarah brought up an app that she downloaded earlier at the dinner table one night.
Fucking Sarah,
dude. I had no
dude.
idea how it does it, but hazarded a guess that...
Bro, it's even on the old school, like, Nokia phones here, dude. What? Even the old school Nokia phones were no match for MalO. Alright, and those things were, like, indestructible.
It tracks you through your phone's GPS and sends you pictures of the places you've been with a really cute monster placed in the photo to make it look like it's following.
Really? You call that a... Dude. This is your idea. This is Sarah's definition of cute. That's her definition of cute. Sarah's got some problems. I'm just saying.
It didn't seem that weird. I recall that Google Maps could get a decent ground photo at the time, so just add Photoshop to that and you'd have a gimmick. Plus, we knew it couldn't be a virus. The App Store checks every app for things like that before peddling it. The only thing I found legitimately off about it at the time was that it was both free and adless. Her explanation of it sounded pretty cool to me, so I asked Sarah to help me download it on my phone. She told me that while my old hand-me-down flip phone did have something like an app store, it most likely didn't have MalO.
I don't believe it.
From looking though. Sarah was a good sister. She really could have told me just to get out of her hair, but she always took the time out of her day for me, packing my lunch, playing with me, bringing me to R-rated movies that I was clearly too young for. I was lucky to have her as a legal guardian when our parents went away. I was too young to process it all when it happened, but Mom and Dad died from a head-on collision with a drunk driver. Sarah took care of me as my legal guardian up until I moved out for college. God knows where I'd be if she didn't. After some prodding, she found the app, which was a surprise to both of us. It was obvious that my phone didn't have any kind of GPS, but neither of us had even thought about it until much, much later. Soon enough, I received my first picture.
I guess I don't. I guess I don't understand Gen Z dating at all. But apparently she's swiping right on this, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay.
I'll never understand the way Sarah saw the world if that was her idea of cute. The photo was taken in my school's courtyard, with the creature I'd soon call Capone sitting on one of the benches. You could barely see him, but there he was, covered in his black matted fur, with his knife-like claws, a set of blank, pure white eyes, and that face, which was merely a skull belonging to some kind of large beast, looking directly at us with that large, wolfish grin.
That's a grin?
I gave the phone back to Sarah, telling her how terrifying it was, and that I didn't want the messages anymore. She just jokingly punched my shoulder, saying, "Oh, don't be such a baby. It's too cute. Look how happy he is to meet you." I looked at his face, his wide grin specifically. I have to admit, I laughed at that. It was just the sheer wrongness of that statement that made me listen to the next. I'm sure he'll grow on you eventually. Tell you what, if you can put up with him for one whole week, we'll go see that movie you wanted to see. If he's...
I'm getting the feeling that this SCP has somehow, like, affected, like it affects people, the longer it's with someone, the more agreeable they become with it and want to spread it. Something like that, like an actual like mind virus kind of a thing. Like maybe it is actually harmless, but it does want to like spread or something. Because it seems like she is really trying to get her brother into this MalO. You know what I mean? Like she really wants him to have this app on her phone or his phone and use it. Like,
Still gives you nightmares. We'll delete it. If you end up liking it, we'll laugh about it later. Deal? I looked at the picture again. It appeared that getting a photo every now and then was the extent that this was going to go to. And looking at it in hindsight, I probably would have kept it on for next to nothing if she really wanted me to. So, I agreed. Sarah was ecstatic after that.
I mean, that's just weird.
I wouldn't regret.
Like, why did she care so much about this app and him having the app on his phone? That's just, it seems a little weird to me, dude. Transmission OC, so I'd say it's a safe bet. I mean, yeah, it's just strange that she is so happy about him putting this app on his phone. I don't know.
Reddit.
It just seems weird.
Some of her own pictures. She only had 3 so far. One at her office, one at the park, and another on the road we lived on. Each picture containing her own clearly visible entity. I must have looked nervous or something because she suggested that I name mine, like she did with her Cassandra. I thought about it for a bit.
So they're even naming it different things? Is that supposed to indicate that this is more than one SCP thing? You know, he named it Capone, she named it Cassandra. Both start with the C. I wonder if there's any significance in that. I don't know. This is weird, dude.
Make something clear, though, because it seems to come up whenever I tell people this. I didn't name my MalO Capone because of the incident with my parents. I didn't even know that Mom and Dad's arrest involved alcohol at the time. I named him after a history lesson I found amusing in school, where people...
That's a strange coincidence. That it sounds like his parents were involved in like moonshine, you know, shenanigans or something. Okay.
People's fears got the best of them. And as my teacher put it, it ended up doing more harm than good. It was intended as a reminder that I shouldn't be making the same mistake. I saw the light of this whole thing after getting a mock title and thought that it wasn't going to be that bad. I went to bed, and my normal life went on for just a little while longer. I continued to get pictures of Capone for a while, following me at school, the bus stop, my street, virtually anywhere I went. It wasn't until the 3rd or 4th day when I got called in from class. I was thinking I was in trouble for something, even if I didn't know what, but as soon as I saw Sarah, that feeling was stifled. She looked very shaken. The instant she saw me, she immediately yanked my arm and brought me to the car. Sarah was not looking good at all. She kept asking questions about Capone, things like if I saw him or if I received any photos from him with me in the images. I haven't checked anything from today, but when I checked, there were 2. I remembered exactly when and where those messages were taken, because during them, I made a mental note that I got some texts from Capone.
What is happening?
As soon as they've been taken.
Are like people, I mean, it's Euclid class, right? I don't know. Are people like, after a certain amount of time, are people like marked for death from this thing or something? You know what I mean? And then, like, is this almost like a Final Destination kind of a situation going on where after a certain amount of time, like, death inevitably comes for them? Like, is that what's happening here? Gentlemen, deeply disturbing to know what happened when the Phantom took this thing to DeviantArt. Yikes. That is not something I wanted to think about.
Sarah knew that we were being pursued by something. She probably had no idea by what they were, and I knew she had no idea how they were doing it, but she knew that they knew where we lived. She couldn't figure out how to delete it, She said she tried everything, but couldn't find a way to get it off. She couldn't even find where the app went. I'm not even sure what we were planning to do, but before we could even fully...
I mean, is it a system? I don't know. Is she upset that her app disappeared and it's not there anymore? Like, I don't... Certainly they were being pursued by something she probably had no idea about what they were, and she had no idea how they were doing it, but she knew that they knew where we lived. Couldn't figure out how to delete it. She says she tried everything, couldn't find a way to get it off. She couldn't even find where the app went.
Plan a course of action, I got another text. Sarah froze and stared at me, as if to say, don't look at it. If I didn't, I could have had a semi-normal life right now. It would have been over the news within a week, and we would have known. But I did it. I opened the phone, and there we were, just sitting there, with that fear-stricken look on our face. The photo was clearly taken from the hood of a moving car, giving us a clear view of what was behind us. He took up most of the back seat and towered over me. We both turned around, preparing to scream at the monstrosity behind us. But when we did, the seat was empty. We didn't know what was happening or what to make of it, but we felt that the only thing to do is run away, abandoning the car. We hastily ditched the car, ran the rest of the way to the apartment, and locked the door behind us. We locked ourselves in the bathroom and waited. We just stayed there, even when we got a message from Cassandra or Capone. Sarah would scream at them, asking why they were following us, and begged for us to be left alone. We felt helpless against them. All we felt we could do is just sit in the bathroom and hope they would go away. The room felt like our only safe haven until we were exposed to them for too long. Sarah started to panic. She kept saying that she kept seeing one of them behind her. I wasn't seeing it, though. I was more concerned about trying to calm her down by telling her that maybe they weren't really there than I was about seeing Capone in the mirror. I convinced Sarah that we needed to leave the room out of necessity. We couldn't stay in the
you gotta
forever.
eat at some point.
And if they wanted to get to us, they would have done so already.
Yeah, exactly, right? Like, clearly, whatever this thing is, it's there, and if it wanted to kill you, would have done so already. And he did say at the beginning, right? Like, it sounds like he had a therapy session. I don't know. The way it sounded like at the beginning, it was a situation where he's an adult now, and he was remembering when he was 15 that his sister begged him to put this app on the phone, and that's when the stuff started. I don't know. This is I don't know. I don't know where this is going, honestly.
We called the police, and here we are. We both got help, but I was the lucky one. Everyone's case was different in terms of interaction, but for me, Capone was always in a mirror or some reflective thing large enough to show him. He was predictable, and I could find ways to block him out when I needed it.
Interesting.
I learned how to expect Capone, and after a while, he kind of grew on me.
So it seems like it's a situation where if you don't reject him and accept him, like, you get to a point where, you can find ways to, I guess, block him out in certain times and situations where it's not convenient to for Capone to show up, or it will just know that it's not convenient for you at the time, and then when it is convenient, it will show up. But then if you reject it, it like forces itself to be in your presence, and you see it all the time. Something like that.
I used to have a makeshift curtain that I would pull over the mirrors when I didn't want to see him, but I
Y'all are
started
crazy.
using that curtain less and less as time went on. Capone always seemed to try and interact with me, even if I didn't understand what he was trying to say most of the time. I started to greet Capone with a casual wave as I passed by him from the living room mirror, and eventually he started to wave back. He kind of became a constant companion to me, and I adjusted to Capone just as he adjusted to me. My case wasn't as severe as Sarah's. She saw Cassandra everywhere she looked, around every corner, just out of sight, over her while she slept.
Okay. That would be like a little too much, dude. I'm trying to sleep and there's just this fucking thing with this fucking skull face sitting over me, watching me. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Sarah took her own life 2 years ago.
See, and that alone right there would also like put me at odds with Capone, right? Like if Capone was my companion, like, first of all, my parents died, and then my sister was this person that was like all I had left. She was close to me, and then because of this app and this creature, it made her take her own life. I would not be, you know, wanting to see Capone at all, because all it would do was just remind me of my sister and the fact she's not around anymore. But maybe that's part of the side effect of Capone, is he takes some of that pain away. I don't know.
I wanted to blame the MalOs for
No, there's no download button happening here.
Following the person who looks at their messages is just what they do. Now, every time I see Capone, I'm reminded of what I did in the car that day. I knew I shouldn't have picked up that text. If I didn't, she would still be here. It was almost 4 hours since William started writing, but he almost felt relieved. He's never actually told anyone about this in such detail before. The majority of what happened was kept between himself and Capone. He looked up to the creature in the mirror from across the room for a few seconds, as it gave the old, familiar wave. William was silent for a minute, staring at Capone, and then back to his papers. He felt the need to make one last point. But then again, how would I have known? I don't know who made the MalOs, or why. I don't even know if anyone actually made the app. Many things like it have been created naturally, or have been given some kind of anomaly out of sheer chance. It would make so much sense.
Okay, with the little pop-up here, guy, calm down.
To blame. But there's none I can legitimately find. None on the MalOs, none on me. Just on chance. What's with the blank expressions? Oh, you don't know about ACID. Right. New AI, very state-of-the-art. Here at the Foundation, we're developing new technology constantly to deal with new threats, sometimes automatically. ACID really helps with that, but it has a multitude of uses. I'm not the technical guy. I'm going to be mainly using him for speech synthesis. Oh, if you don't know, ACID stands for Anomalous Containment Intelligence Database. I'm just a level 3 researcher who gets to use it. Anyway.
He's a level 3 researcher on ACID. I get it.
I think that about does it for today. Thank you very much for listening, if indeed you still are, and you are all dismissed.
Okay.
Goodbye.
All right. Well, that was a weird one. It was pretty creepy as well. Creepy and weird. I don't know really what to make of it. I mean, the story was kind of self-explanatory. It just seems to be an anomalous app that somehow finds its way on your phone, and it seems to be the case where there's a certain period of time where you get encouraged to tell people about it so it can spread. But then I guess if you get too attached to it, there comes a point where either you accept it and it becomes part of your life and you're okay with it, or you try to reject it. And if you try to reject it, it seems like it tries to insert itself in your life even more. And then who knows where that goes. And like you start seeing it everywhere out of the corner of your eye and every parts of your life, and there's nothing you can really do about it. As what happened to his sister Sarah. I mean, what? How would you, I mean, I guess other than getting to it early enough to where you can use amnestics, you know, that would probably fix the problem, because otherwise, like, it sounded like for him that this is something that he's gotten used to over, you know, at least 5 to 10 years, maybe, you know, because it sounded like it was a teenager when it first started, and he's an adult now, and he's just getting help with the situation through therapy. So, like, obviously it would suck if you're like a 20 some odd year old person and this started happening when you're 15 and you got to erase, you know, memory from now to then, you know, lose 10 plus years of your life or something like that. But like, otherwise, what else would you do, right? And then again, like I said earlier, is it a situation where, like, could you format your phone and want to get rid of it, and then what would happen then? You know, and is the phone just like a medium for it to attach itself to you? Because I mean, like, look, man, Apple comes out with a new phone like every other month, you know what I'm saying? So like, when you start upgrading here, does it transfer? You know, what happens if you don't put MalO on your new phone and you just throw your old phone away? What happens then? You know, there's a lot of questions here, but I don't know, interesting and creepy story. I do, like I said, wonder if the creature is some kind of like Easter egg or reference to Donnie Darko, which is a great movie, by the way. It's a very interesting movie with Jake Gyllenhaal. I think it was one of his earlier movies. It's worth checking out, in my opinion. And honestly, actually, it's kind of like an SCP story in and of itself. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. It'll be worth watching. But yeah, let's continue for this one here, boys. That was SCP-1471 MalO version 1.0 Euclid transmission SCP by the Vulcan. Links, as always, will be down below in the description to the original video without my commentary and reaction into the Vulcan's channel. Please do me a favor. If you enjoyed this video, go to his channel, give this video a like. And if you're not already subbed to him, what are you doing? Hit that sub button on his channel. He definitely deserves the love and support. If you would like to join us when we do these reactions live, we'd love to have you guys come in here, hang out, join in the conversations. There is a join button underneath the video, as well as a link in the description to the YouTube membership benefits and tiers that I offer. We would love to have you guys come in here, check those out. If you've been around the channel for a while and decide you want to take your support to the next level, check it out. Well, all that said, though, hope you're all having yourselves a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and a sub, as it helps me and the channel grow. And we'll see you guys in the next one.